In a minute. Good afternoon. Welcome to everybody. The time is 5:30, the time for our Yuma County Planning and Zoning Commission. Uh-oh, let me see. No, I'm on. Still can't hear? Are we not working?
Javier, close the door when I.
Test 1, 2. Still not working. Let's try it one more time. How about now? Can you hear? Barely, huh?
Testing, 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 testing.
Does this one work any better? No.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.
No. How do I? Are you talking to it?
Hearing you say no.
Hello. Hello. Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, everybody needs to.
As loud as it's going to get. All right, I'll get as close as I can.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Just everybody needs to quiet down so that the speakers can function.
We'll try it. All right, we're going to call our meeting of the Yuma County Planning and Zoning Commission to order for today, June 24th, 2025. We'll talk as close to the mic as we can. We don't have control over the speaker volume, so hopefully you all can hear. It'll be very helpful if no conversations take place while we're speaking. First item on the agenda is ask Heidi to verify that we have a quorum.
AJ Mosqueda?
Present.
Ron Wright?
Here.
Tim Bauer?
Present.
Danny Bryant?
Here?
Matthias Rosales?
Present.
Scott Mahern? Hugo Garcia? Present. McDermott? Present. Ron Van Wyk?
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you do have a quorum.
Very good. We have a quorum, and I would ask everybody to stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get into tonight's meeting, there's some housekeeping I will read into the record. If you have a car that's parked in the gated employee parking lot, please move your car immediately to keep from getting locked in. There's no public egress from the building to the south parking lot. The only entry is through the north entrance near the auditorium. All access to the building is limited to staff only as a security precaution. If you wish to speak tonight, please sign in at the sheet by the back door on the rear table. If you speak at the podium tonight, first state your name and address clearly for the record. When you speak, address the chairman. Do not engage with conversation with any other audience member or with staff, but speak only to the podium. If you have handouts, give them to staff, and staff will distribute them to us. Restrooms and drinking fountains are down the hall behind us, and feel free to use those as needed. And please, no food or beverages other than water in the hearing room. We are going to do a couple of things out of order tonight because we have limited seating and limited space. We're going to move item number 8, which is what most of the folks are here for. It's special use permit case number 25-10. we are going to move that to the first case that we're going to hear. So our first item is to approve the minutes of the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting of April 27th. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the minutes as presented.
I'll second that.
There's a motion by Commissioner Van Wy with a second by Commissioner Mosqueda to approve the May 27th, 2025 minutes as published. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes are approved. And now we will hear item number 8, special use permit case number 25-10. Tonight's presenter will be,
Good evening. Richard Munguia, Senior Planner.
thank you, Richard.
This request is a special use permit to allow an outdoor food court with food trucks, outdoor seating, and outdoor entertainment in a parcel that is zoned local commercial. Location is 11666 South Foothills Boulevard. The subject parcel is outlined in the crosshatch. Parcels to the north, south, and west are zoned RVS in green. Parcel 94 to the east is zoned general commercial, and it's developed with a shopping center. And parcel 95 to the east is also zoned general commercial, and it's developed with a bank. And the general commercial zoning district is in red. The property is outlined here. It currently has several structures on site without permits. The site currently has multiple seating areas, a live entertainment stage, a bar, food trucks, and a pet grooming establishment. The site plan identifies the existing structures on the site. The shaded areas are screen shades with seating underneath. The site plan as shown doesn't appear to meet setback requirements and potentially may not be able to meet parking requirements. The applicant would be required to obtain a variance to reduce setbacks and parking requirements or modify the existing setup to meet those requirements. This project will also be required to comply with parking, paving, and buffering and screening requirements as well. There would be a 20-foot buffering on the west, 10-foot on the north and south, and 10-foot along Foothills Boulevard. MCAS and the City of San Luis both provided comments. There were approximately 70 letters in support and 10 letters in opposition. There was also a petition in support with over 270 signatures representing neighbors mostly outside of the radius area or with no addresses identified. Many of the support letters were located outside of the radius area as well, or they did not include an address. There were 3 letters in opposition. No, I'm sorry, there was 10 letters in opposition, and the letters in opposition are shown here in red, and the letters in support that are located within the radius area are shown here in blue. Staff is recommending approval, subject to the performance and operational conditions shown here on the screen. There were 2 conditions left off that you have in front of you now, and there was an error on the performance condition 2, item number A. It says that it should be a solid fence or masonry wall 7 feet in height along the east perimeter, but it should say west. That concludes my report. I'm available for questions.
Thank you, Richard. Do any commissioners have questions of staff? Not at this point. So we will ask now if the applicant is present, if he would like to speak now. And just a quick explanation too. One of the reasons we can't have people speaking from the seat is we are recorded.
Oh, sorry.
And we need to be close to the mic when we speak. So we'll speak only from the podium. And the applicant can now address the commission.
Yeah, so I don't oppose anything on here besides
Name and address, please.
Jacob Fletcher with BCLS Investments. That's 1116666 Foothills Boulevard, South Foothills Boulevard, Yuma, Arizona 85367. So the only condition we oppose on the special use permit is the time of being open. Right now it says 11 to 6 p.m. doing live music. We're fine with that. Okay, we've been open 5 years doing live music till 6:30, so we'll shut it off a little early. But it says 6 PM during dinner hour, you want us to shut down. That's not fair to us. Like, there's kitchens there. I mean, we're gonna miss the whole dinner hour where she makes her money. So we're asking to stay open until 8 PM. But other than that, all the other conditions will meet.
Any questions? The commissioners have questions of the applicant? We don't have any questions at this time, but we'll have a public hearing portion, and we might ask you to come back up to explain after we get comments from the public.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. So I will open the public hearing portion of the meeting now, and I would like to ask first, just by a show of hands, how many people in the audience are here to support this? How many people in the audience are here to oppose?
Mr. Chairman, there's an overflow room, so we need to, may need to capture that, those,
Yes, so would we
Other room.
see if there's, yeah, what I'd like to do, since we suspect that most of the support's going to be mostly the same, I would like to ask anyone who wants to speak in opposition to this request to come forward at this time.
Mr. Chairman, there's an additional 67 people that are in opposition that are about to enter the room.
Okay, we will take their comments first. Is there someone here opposed?
My wife here?
I see that you went through the same training program I did. Sit. Yeah, I'm trying my best to get as close to this mic as I can.
They need to stop talking.
It's just not working at all.
No.
Well, I'll quit trying to get close to the mic and try to speak louder then.
Mr. Chairman, if the audience would stop speaking and making comments under their breath, I think that you would be heard. Your voice would carry better.
That's their choice. If they don't want to hear, they can continue to murmur, but, okay, so we have people coming forward. So those who would like to speak in opposition to come to this.
Chairman,
to
it
fir-
appears that there is no one in opposition in the overflow room as well.
You in opposition?
One right there.
So the opposition, come forward, name and address for the record. Tell us what you oppose.
Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Thomas, live at 12840 East 37th Place, right down the street. I'm all for the special use permit for their park, or for their music, their dinners. I have nothing against anything at all. They've actually been out and spoke to me. I've told them the same thing. The only thing I have against it is fighting for our parking spots. We have all these people that come in and they park in front of my gates, they park in front of the yard, they park everywhere. They block the stop signs. You have to make a sharp corner in the middle of the road. They don't park on the sides. They park out in the road. Just, and it's nothing to do with Fat Daddy's. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he's great. The music doesn't bother us. The food's fine. It's just I'm opposed to, unless something happens to get parking, that's what I'm against.
Very good. Thank you for coming and sharing that with us.
Thanks, sir.
Anyone else in the audience that would like to speak in opposition to this request? There's no one else over there that wants to speak? Okay, we're going to call for those who would like to speak in favor of. There's going to be, how many people want to speak tonight? A few. So I'm going to ask Heidi to use a 2-minute timer. And we want to know how you feel, but we don't, if you agree with the other speaker, you can just say we agree, and if you add something new, that's good. We just would like to move on so that everyone else who has things on the agenda tonight can get here. Does the applicant have something they would like to address at this point?
Yeah, why don't you
Mr.
That,
Yeah, I just said whoever's within 300 feet that's in opposition or up for us, come and speak first.
I appreciate that recommendation, but we want to hear from the community, and it doesn't, at this point, matter to us whether they're within 300 feet or 500 feet. So I'm going to ask folks who want to speak to stand up, to kind of form a line. First speaker, come forward, name and address for the record, and then tell us what you want us to know, and then we'll just have a steady flow. Come forward.
I'm Paul Spons. My address is 11624 Foothill Boulevard, Yuma, Arizona. My property is number 37 in that outline. There was only one time I can recall when the parking was a little much, and that was at Sal's funeral. And frankly, it shows how much support there is in the community for these people, because everybody in the community showed up. So how can you control a funeral? But they've been in business, as Jake said, over 5 years, and they've shown themselves to be responsible business owners. That's all I have to say about it. I have no problem with the noise. Of course, all us old people, we can't hear anyway. So maybe that's why they have to crank it up so the people there can hear.
I understand. Thank you for sharing, sir. Next speaker, please.
Like it's realistic point of view.
Hi, my name is Mary Wilson. I live at 10422 South Spring Avenue, 85365. I've been visiting this establishment since it opened up. It's a wonderful venue. I appreciate this gentleman concerned about the parking, and that's always been a thing with me as well. I park across the street at the bank so that I'm not blocking. So if a suggestion may be made to accommodate the people that are concerned about parking, that maybe a sign be put up in their parking lot that says, when parking lot is full, please park across the street at the bank. And that's all I wanted to say. And she has verified that with the bank that is acceptable.
Yes, we saw that letter. Quick question. What's your experience crossing the 5 lanes of traffic at Foothills Boulevard before you've had the drinks and after you've had the drinks? Is there a difference?
Oh, we're seasoned here. Come on. We're seasoned here.
No, do you find it dangerous at all?
No,
All
I
right.
really don't. Traffic does stop when they see a group of people crossing. So
Very good. Thank you for sharing with us. Next speaker, please.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for allowing me to speak. I live 13368 East 49th, not far from the venue. And I go there.
What is your
Name and address. Name, please.
Oh, Jack Vanderloop. And I've been there many times. And what you have to remember is the band is facing to the east. The neighborhood is to the west. So, and there's a sound barrier around it. One is a big bus, another one is trailers. So I can pull up in a parking lot and never hear the music until I walk in. It's usually 2 guys on a guitars with a small amp. No rock bands, no oompa oompa oompa, no disco, it's usually country rock, older rock. And it's a great venue. The music stops at 6:30, when's curfew, 10 p.m. But the big thing is, if parking is a problem, then maybe the venue could put some signs up. There's only 2 streets into that neighborhood to the west. And put a sign up, go, no fat daddies parking beyond this point. Respect our neighbors. And that would solve that problem, because look at, we're all older people, respectful of the rules and laws. And we could go even across the street. It's a commercial area. And so I'm just saying there is solutions here for the parking problem, the music problem. It ends at 6:30. Are you kidding me? You know, we all go to bed at 6:30. Anyway, thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you for sharing with us. Next speaker, please.
Well, I had this whole thing written up, but to be short, I already heard a lot of the things that I was going to say. My name is Marlon Andrews. I apologize. And I live at 1880 South Naples Avenue. That's not in the foothills, but I have lived many times in the foothills. We're kind of snowbirds ourselves. So having said that, I would just ask that while anybody's making any of these decisions, to think about some of these other points. Fat Daddy's not only is a staple of the foothills, a big part of life as a winter visitor, if you will. The entertainment that is in the area is incredible. It's massive, and it is, I promise you, a big part of why many people that I personally know move to the area. The loss of any of the music would affect the overall community as far as economically. Myself as a musician, I know that there's several musicians in here tonight. We've been employed many times by Fat Daddies. So we're talking about a bigger picture than just volume. As far as volume goes, it's already been said, it ends at 6:30. We could, like I said, 6 would be fine too. Most of us are in bed by 8. But the thing about it is, we are talking about solos and duos. It's not Metallica concerts. It's relatively quiet music. It's respectable music. It's family oriented. This would just affect so many people negatively to benefit a few volume complaints or even parking that I'm sure could be resolved. The volume complaints, you have to listen to them. But I think that nobody has brought up one thing, and that's there is no sound ordinance in Yuma. Years ago, or Yuma County. Years ago, there was. My fiddle player in my band was a sheriff back then, and he recalls the chaos that began when Yuma County did away with the noise ordinance. And I would, if any of this helps, I would say, think of some guidelines that venues could go by. The time of day, which you've already talked about, the decibel limit. That's hard to do because even at this volume that I'm talking to you, it's about 60 decibels. You know what I mean? So it's hard to do, but it can be done. And at least there would be some sort of structure that, hey, you broke that rule, or, versus, just the constant complaining that, gosh, it was just too loud. It was just too loud. At least there's some structure there. So I would just ask that you consider that, while you guys are meeting this, is all the people that would be affected, that benefit from the music. I know so many people about, that just, it's a huge part of their lives. So
Very good. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for sharing with us. Next speaker, please.
My name is Jim Durst, D-U-R-S-T, 10380 South Fairway Drive in Yuma. The question that I have is, the business has been in business for 5 years. Why is it just now coming in front of you? Because somebody complained. If I'm driving by the new Del Sol Market and the lights are shining or loud noises, can I call and complain to you? Is that something I can do? And you're going to go address it? If I'm at Buffalo Wild Wings in the summer or in the winter down at the mall and I'm sitting outside eating and they have the jazz festival and I don't like the music or something, it's annoying, do I call you and complain? Are you going to go and cite them? I just want to see how you guys, after 5 years, now it's a complaint. What happened?
Our staff is required by the Board of Supervisors, and we're in support that if a complaint comes to them, they need to see if any zoning violations are taking place. If there are no zoning violations, then there's no basis for the complaint. So staff gets a complaint, we need them to try to make sure that the public is being protected, and that's all they did. Somebody complained, they found out there was a permit missing, and that's why we're here.
But 5 years in business and now you're coming around because somebody complained? Where were these people 2 years ago, 3 years ago complaining. They weren't.
So you could have just as easily been complaining then that these folks shouldn't be out causing problems if there's no complaints. I mean, it's just the way that the rules are set up in Yuma County. We are complaint driven. We want customers and constituents to be protected and be happy. They got a complaint, they're doing their job, and you're here explaining why they should be able to continue to stay in business.
So what's the next step after this? Is there another trial or case?
We make a recommendation, and then it goes to the Board of Supervisors, and then they make a final decision on whether to issue a special use permit.
Now, if they agreed to shut down, there wouldn't be a case. So did they have to pay money to come for this hearing? Was there a cost to be in front of you?
They have to pay a fee to apply for a special use permit. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming. Next speaker, please.
Hello, my name is Kathleen Miller. I live at 5707 East 32nd Street, Yuma, Arizona, 85365. Music. Music is life. Music is what keeps all of these people with these red shirts here happy. This is why we're here. We're here because we want this community in the off season when all the snowbirds are gone home to be happy. These people make us happy. All of these people that sing, that create this wonderful life for the rest of us here, make us happy. One thing I did research, the Supreme Court has held that music is a form of expression and communication, and it is protected by the First Amendment. So why is 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people allowed to break that First Amendment to shut us down? My husband and I run a karaoke outdoor. All of our proceeds go to Humane Society of Yuma. This year we gave them $6,827 because people were so generous for music. My husband sings in a rock band called the Feral Cats. We made $6,000 in tips. Where did they go? Yuma Humane Society, because people love music. So what they're asking is so minimal. And with the ordinances in our city at 10 p.m., I don't think 6:30 is unreasonable. Even when we do our outdoor venues, we stop at 8 just to be respectful. But I think it's just important that all you people that do give a lot of time, don't get me wrong, I'm not criticizing, but I think you need to realize the importance of music and what it brings to the rest of these people that are still here year-round and throughout the year.
Thank you. And just for the record, we do believe in music.
Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
Thank you for allowing me and some others to speak on behalf of Fat Daddies out in Foothills.
Mr. Chairman?
I'm sorry.
She needs to say her name and address.
Oh, I'm just about to do that. My name is Lucy Insulaco. I live at 10650 South Avenida Compadres in Tuscany Manufactured Home Park. And several of us, friends and neighbors, attend Fat Daddies, not on a regular basis, but almost. We have quite a few celebrations there. And so I wrote something, and I hope, again, for you to think outside the box and not just a straight line no. As one of numerous customers of Fat Daddies, I implore you to approve the special permit for this wonderful small business, which serves the great people who reside in the Foothills area and beyond. I and my friends and neighbors who live in Tuscany have held many celebrations at Fat Daddy's through the years. And I must say that every time I have been at this establishment, more than 90% of their customers are respectful, senior citizens. This is not just loud music and craziness going on. We enjoy having an outdoor venue such as Fat Daddy's. In some cases, Fat Daddy's puts the pep in our steps, the warmth in our hearts, and a much needed outlet for otherwise mundane lives. We're sheltered indoors for most of the summer for at least 3 to 4 months, and it's really nice to be able to have an outdoor venue where we can enjoy the fresh air and some music. Please understand your approval of Fat Daddy's requested special use permit not only involves the financial well-being of the owners and workers, it enhances the lives of senior citizens in the most positive of ways. Get-togethers bring us joy. Joy brings us smiles. Our smiles welcome new and current friends, and combine those times together fill the voids in our lives and furnish us with the feeling of camaraderie, family, and renewed sense of self. Please consider approving the special permit for Fat Daddies and do your part to send the right message to small business owners in all of Yuma County. Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution. Next speaker, please.
My name is Jim Yahtzee, and I am a permanent resident of 13861 East 53rd Street in the Yuma foothills. I'm an entertainer. I specialize in assisted living and memory care places. I do Elvis for them in 7 different states, leaving tomorrow for a tour. One of the reasons why we chose Yuma, Arizona was because of the music and the outdoor venues like the Executive Golf Course, Howl at the Moon, Cat and Marlin's Place. I firsthand have seen what music can do to people and the benefits for it. If one of the concerns is people crossing the street to get to parking over at the foothills, I mean, we're planning in development here, and I would imagine that it's possible to maybe put a crosswalk, just some paint across there, and maybe a warning sign that there might be pedestrians going across there. Just food for thought on one of those 2 streets, 37th Way or 37th Place. Anyway, I'm just here in support of the music that brought me here to Yuma, Arizona, and the joy it brings to so many of these people, not only in the foothills. People come from downtown Yuma and the surrounding areas. And, you know, when I was playing in garage bands as a child, I remember we had to shut it down at, I think it was 10 o'clock at night. I don't understand why a business that's been in use for 5 years gets all of a sudden a threat to shut down because we have music till 6:30 at night. Just seems unfathomable to me. But thank you for hearing our voices, and thank you all for showing up.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Lynn Gouge, and I live at 12832 East 38th Street. So I believe my house is number 2 on your diagram. I have lived in my house for 3.5 years. I enjoy having Fat Daddies there. If I sit in my very backyard and I'm quiet, I can hear the music. If I'm in my house, I can't. If I'm in my front yard, I can't. But the music is very respectful, and it shuts down early. Having a locally owned business, and now businesses, because there are a couple others on that property, is so important, especially as we're having more and more franchises and more corporate establishments coming into the foothills. It is so important to stand with our local businesses, our small family-owned businesses. And so I hope that we can find a way to keep this business open, because it is basically the bedrock of our community. Small businesses, mom and pop, family businesses, outdoor venues, outdoor music, those are all part of the culture of the foothills. And so I hope that we are able to find a solution to keep them there. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Next speaker.
My name's Lola Scammahorn. I live at 13724 East 47th Street. I own the event Howling at the Moon, and I'm getting a lot of feedback on this. We back Connie, we back all these musicians that play at our event and other events throughout Yuma. And we need to know, because I'm getting all kinds of people texting me, well, do you have permits? 14 years, we've never heard of a use permit to have this event. So where do we fall in this special use permit?
I don't know where you hold your event, and I don't know what the zoning is, and I don't know what the requirement is, but staff will answer that question for you at some later time. But I hope everyone understands that no one I know in the county is trying to shut down music or outdoor venues. The question is whether this is the proper location and whether permits should be used. We all love music, believe in music, and we all want to encourage mom and pop companies.
Also make a comment about the parking. I put up signs all over the Howling at the Moon for driving in. Do not block roadway. Ambulances have to get through. The life they save might be yours. And people park in the roadway. You cannot control what people do outside of where you're at.
Understand it, but I will give you a compliment. As people have contacted me over the week, they said the people at Howling of the Moon do it right. So I don't know what you do, but they were happy that you did it right.
We work at it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good evening. My name is Deborah Rogers. I live at 11763 South Sandra Ave, Yuma, 85367. So I'm down the street and around a corner or two, close to Fat Daddy's. I go there semi-frequently. Really enjoy the establishment. I'm a big fan of supporting small business. I used to be a business owner. I made my living off of my community. Without the community support, they would go under. I get the music issue. I've been there so many times, the music, sometimes you can't even hear the music over the street noise. Sometimes we want it louder. It's parking. The parking seems to be the biggest issue here, not the music, from what I've heard. I'm a big fan of if people are parking where they shouldn't be parking. If they're blocking my driveway and they've disappeared, there's this phone number you call and they come out and they get a ticket or get towed. That'll stop that problem really fast. That happens a couple times or two. But I am retired Air Force, so I might be a little harder on the thumb to get things done. I just wanted to come here tonight, show my support for Fat Daddies, beg and plead to please give them a chance to get the permits they need and stay in business. They are one of the reasons I moved here. I came from northern Utah where there's snow and cold, and I came down here to visit my parents. We went to Fat Daddies. We went to a couple other places with music. I'm like, this is the life. And so now I'm a permanent resident. Don't shut our music down. Don't shut our local down. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for sharing with us. Next speaker, please.
Hello, I'm Sandy Dawsonroth. We live at 13953 East 54th Street in Yuma in the foothills here. And we moved here about 4 years ago permanently. We had been snowbirds for 15 years. We came down because our parents had come down. We love Yuma. We picked here because of your downtown activities. We chose to live in the foothills because of the places like Fat Daddy's and Fat Bottom Pizza. And you know, it's just, we enjoy being able to go out early in the evening, because most of us are senior citizens, and we like music. Music is therapy, and it is so relaxing. And the county just passed something that allows you to now start construction at 5 o'clock in the morning. So you've got contractors hammering and putting on, you know, building new houses, which are badly needed. But that's 5 o'clock in the morning. We're talking about while people are eating dinner, like, you know, 6:30 at night. And we do go to Fat Daddy's often. It's one of our favorite places, and it's relaxing. I understand that there's a parking issue, but please find a way to keep it going, because people move here because of the lifestyle and what Yuma has to offer, whether it be downtown when you shut down Main Street, or whether it be out in the foothills when someone's just having a party in their yard and they have a band come over and play. You know, we're usually done by everything by 8 o'clock because they all want to go home and go to bed.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you sharing.
Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
Hi, I'm Heather Caldwell. I live at 10498 North Frontage Road. I came here from Michigan. We have restaurants everywhere in Michigan. Here, I agree with what everybody's saying, but I implore you to keep them going because I have yet to find a better burger made anywhere in Yuma. And I've been looking. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate the tip. Next speaker.
Hi, I'm Danielle Fletcher. I'm at 11869 East 27th Place. I am Connie's daughter-in-law. I find this establishment very personal. My father-in-law passed in December, and I had made the decision to quit my job and come help her because I know how important it is to the community, to her, to our family, to everyone around here. I don't want to see that fall. I want to be able to help you, help us, do whatever we can to get this on the right track with parking, with the noise, with being able to be shut down at 6, to being able to staying open, hopefully an hour, 2 hours extra for food. I want to be able to see her succeed. She's built this business from the ground up. Her and her husband, my father-in-law, that's no longer here with us anymore. And to everyone here, all these people, they're our friends, they're our family, they're everything to us, to her, especially right now. To be able to comply with everything that you need, and for you to be able to vote yes and grant us our special use permit would mean the world, especially with everything that she's gone through, what she's been going through, and it continues to keep going through. I want nothing but the best, and I here just to say that this is a wonderful family establishment that we don't want to lose.
Thank you for
Thank
sharing
you.
that with us. Sorry for your loss. Next speaker.
Hi there. I'm Gloria Bautista. Address is 11869 East 27th Place, Yuma, Arizona. Obviously, you guys have heard from the community everything about Fat Daddies, music. It's a community, it's a family. The only thing I have to say is, as city representatives and government representatives, it's your job to represent the people. And everybody in here is who you're representing. And I think it's your job to make this part of the community and give them their permit and let this community be a big family. And that's what life's all about, just having fun and being able to have a community to go to and enjoy and be part of a family. A lot of these people don't have other family, and this is their family. So I'm just asking you guys to do your job and push this through and represent the community. That's it.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Next speaker.
My name is John Shields. I'm at 14814 East 53rd Yuma. I'm not going to keep piling on of all the love that they have gotten, but I just wanted to bring up some food for thought. I was there at probably one of their last live performances this year. And at that performance, one of the county sheriffs was there because there was a car blocking somebody's driveway. So boom, right off the bat, the entertainer announced to the crowd, anybody that's got a car parked, you got to get it moved. You got to get moved. They're going to tow it, right? So this went on, and the sheriff was very friendly, but this went on for 3 different announcements, okay? And there was only like 25 of us in attendance. Not one of the people that was in attendance there was the one that was blocking one of the close neighbors' driveway. I'm not saying that maybe wasn't all the time people that were coming to the establishment, but there is times that people park in front of other people's houses that aren't even at Fat Daddy's. So just a little bit of a piece of information to think about.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Next speaker.
Good evening. My name is Marshall Murray. I live at 10347 East 34th Street in the Foothills. And as we all know, the Foothills has grown recently. The community, the whole county has grown huge. And so I'm having a hard time trying to understand why there is not a hard and fast noise ordinance that has a reasonable, articulable standard so that everybody knows the parameters in which they have to work. The city parameter is 95 decibels at your property line. When we measured at Fat Daddy's last fall, we were at 75, 76. So not that the city is the county, but there needs to be a standard that's hard and fast so that we know what parameters we have to work in. And I dare say, had there been a parameter, we wouldn't be having this conversation because the complaints would never have come. If parking is the issue, enforce the parking. Send the sheriff out to enforce parking, not out to enforce somebody saying, I don't like their music, it's too loud. If there's a standard for volume, takes away somebody's opinion of what the sound is. And then you get to the root of the problem, people parking where they shouldn't park. And if somebody's parked in front of somebody's yard legally and somebody doesn't want somebody parked there, it's not their place to say. If they're parked legally on the street, they're parked legally on the street. But let's get down to the real root of it. If parking is the issue, address the parking. And get a sound ordinance that has, as I said, a reasonable, articulable standard so that we know. I play a lot of outdoor venues in the Foothills. We don't know if we're too loud or not.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you sharing. Yes, last speaker.
My name is Matthew Whitaker. I live at 10410 Coney Ave in the Foothills. I wanted to point out, I've heard everybody here in support of Fat Daddy's, and it's awesome. And everybody feels that way, just about. If you had had this in the wintertime, you needed a stadium for the room. That's how many people would be here. But I want to point out what Fat Daddy's does for the community, because I haven't heard that mentioned. Every year at Christmas time, and this is near and dear to me because I was a Marine, Toys for Tots. You would not believe the amount of support because Fat Daddy's has the boxes there. Everybody comes in. It's huge. They support the Veterans Home. They have people who come in and do that every year. They have a Canada Day. Support our friends from the North who help support our community every year. Memorial Day for the vets. 4th of July. All of this. They do all these things for the community, which is, it's not just the great burgers, it's because Fat Daddy's supports the Foothills. And I hadn't heard that mentioned. That's the only reason I wasn't going to speak, but I didn't hear it. So thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Okay. The last speaker. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, Aaron Selly at APN number 728-07001. I understand, as you've educated me, that this is not a political statement here. This is about facts and standards. And for me, I would like to bring up the Board of Supervisors case that went through June 2nd, 2506, which is merely 2 to 3 blocks south of this location. My issue here is with the hours that they're being restricted to. I know this is a touchy subject and that these, they're trying to rein in some parameters, but I think we need to set a standard. And I think the Board of Supervisors did that earlier this month. So the food court that is going to be 2 blocks from there has the right to open from 0500 to 9 p.m. And their live music is going from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. I'd respectfully request that the commission add that language into this before sending it to the Board of Supervisors so that we can create a standard for the Foothills, especially when C1 is in use, and that series of things is specifically outlined in permitted uses. Live music, amplified music, and food type stuffs that are to go are directly involved with C1, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for those comments. A question of staff. This property is surrounded by residential on all sides. Is the one being referred to, do we know if it was surrounded by residential on all sides?
It was surrounded by residential, yes.
On all three sides?
Residentially zoned property. I believe so.
And we made the same recommendation on both cases as far as the hours of operation. The board-
Supervisors changed it?
The board changed it.
As long as staff is consistent, that's good. Yes, thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for bringing that up.
Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Is there anyone else that feels the need to speak? If not, I'm going to close the public hearing portion of the meeting, and I'm going to come back to commissioners and staff.
Yes.
Commissioner Van Loan.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Staff, my concern also was, Chairman Bryan and I spoke about this earlier. We want to remain consistent. So we would like to compare this to the one that we just approved last month to determine what is the best way forward. What's right is what's right.
And it's what staff is telling us is that they made these exact recommendations last time.
Okay.
If the board, I mean, and again, just so that the public understands, we aren't elected folks. We're just here trying to determine what's a fair and equitable thing to do for land use standards. When it gets to the Board of Supervisors, they are elected and they have a political thing that they have to play. But our goal is just to make sure that we're recommending good land use decisions that are fair and equitable. And I would say that when staff makes a recommendation like this, we approved the last one based on their recommendations, that it would be incumbent upon us, if we decide this applies, that we followed their recommendations as well. But let the board switch it if they want to. That's what they did last time.
And Mr. Chairman, also, if I may, understand to the audience that, as Chairman Bryan said, we make a recommendation. When it goes in front of the board, you also have a right to speak there, which is where things were changed. We're trying to remain our consistency here as a team. And so understand, I'll reiterate it again, whatever happens here, you have a voice at the Board of Supervisors.
And I want to follow up.
Will you take a motion?
Let me follow with staff for just a second, if I can, before we go there. This list of conditions that have to be met, there's performance conditions and operation conditions. All the performance conditions would have to be met before a special use permit were issued. Is that accurate?
Mr. Chairman, all the performance conditions need to be met before they can begin operations.
Before they can begin operations. So the solid 7-foot wall, masonry wall, and the parking restrictions, whether they have to be asphalted or not, and the sidewalks and all of that stuff has to be accomplished before they could begin operations.
Correct.
Now, are they already in operations, or is this establishment closed in the summertime?
Mr. Chairman, they were in operation up until a few months ago. I believe that they're currently closed.
Or it's for the season? We'll get to let the applicant answer here in just a second. Okay, I just wanted to follow through with that. And then, do any other commissioners have questions of staff? If not, could the applicant come forward? I have a couple of questions. One, are you currently in operation?
Yeah, so we're currently in operation. We opened in 2020 under Doug Ducey's proclamation. Maggie knows that. I sent it to her. The county said basically that I could have fought it, but I would have fought it at a judicial level, which there has been cases in Wisconsin that literally have been won because of these proclamations to open restaurants when the county and everything was closed. So there are cases out there that we could have fought at judicial level, but it'd been easier to get a permit and keep going.
Perhaps easier to get a permit. I was contacted this week by more than one person, more than two people, more than three people. And I just want to get this cleared up, because in those contexts, they had suggested that Fat Daddies was being, or representatives of Fat Daddies were being, perhaps they called it bullying and
No one's bullied anyone. I know where it's coming from. It's coming from our complainer. Literally every night we were open, sheriffs were there. Sheriffs were there every night for the music. And the sheriffs came up to us and said, you guys aren't doing anything wrong. Your mom needs to go get a restraining order on the person complaining. Well, then it started with parking. After the sheriff shut the complainer down, it started with parking. Parking, we went and bought no parking signs for, correct? We posted them along. We made a deal with the bank. Literally right there on 38th Street, there's a light and there's a crosswalk. So the bank let us use their parking lot, which people started doing. They walked across the street and walked over. Parking got better, did it not?
now you need to talk to us, not to
So
them.
parking got better. But no, I went up, I found out who was complaining because she was driving around to all the neighbors and she was trying to get them to call and complain. That's how this all got started.
Do any other commissioners have questions of the applicant?
I have one of staff.
Mr. Chairman, just a point of clarification. For the business, all parking needs to be within the parcel itself.
For it to count as parking spots,
to
it
be-
has to be a contained parking
It has
spot.
to be on-site parking, correct.
Overflow, but staff has taken that into consideration in their recommendation to approve, that you're going to require them to have so many parking spots. And if they exceed that, what happens? I mean,
Mr. Chairman, they have to comply with the parking requirements of the zoning ordinance. If they can't meet those requirements, then they would have to either apply for a variance and receive approval from the Board of Adjustment for a variance, or reduce the size of their establishment.
so what you're saying, even though the bank across the street says, hey, you could park in our parking lot, we don't use that as calculated parking.
Correct.
They will have to provide the parking necessary on their property,
Correct. There has to be
whatever that needs to be.
parking for the business has to be on-site.
How do we reconcile this difference between they can't operate until the performance conditions are met, but they are operating?
Mr. Chairman, there is a current zoning violation case ongoing for the property. It is going to be heard by the hearing officer in July. And then the hearing officer does have the ability to give them either a...
That's being taken care of in another.
It's going through the zoning
in
violation
another
process,
venue.
correct.
We don't need to be concerned with that.
Correct.
Very good. Any other commissioners have questions? Yes, Commissioner
I had a
Rice.
question for the gentleman. Are you trying to get into compliance with the wall and all of this?
Yeah, so the wall right now is, I don't know if you know the foothills very well, but the wall goes from 6.5 feet to 5 feet. They must have been drunk when they built it or didn't use lasers, you know? So yes, yeah, so we have no problem with bringing up the wall to 7 feet. Literally, they hit us with engineering like 10 minutes before I got here. I got an email that they want sidewalks and curbs and gutters, which, look, we don't have a problem. All we want to do is get in compliance and open. Okay, we've told them that. The only thing I have a problem with is just like that last till 9 p.m. Like they're saying you have to shut down by 6. I know he got approved till 9 p.m. at that other lot. That's the only thing I want. I'll put in sidewalks, driveways, parking spots. If we have to get rid of a couple tables so I could have 20 spots of parking, that's what we're gonna have to do. But we can't control the parking. We could help our neighbors out. We put up no parking signs. We went to the bank, made a deal with them. So, I mean, we're trying as much as we can.
So you understand, Steph, she told us is that on the one you're pointing out that's a few blocks down, their recommendations were the same, that they be approved for operating hours until 6 o'clock. The Board of Supervisors changed that, and they have the ability to change it. But so this commission approved staff's recommendation up until 6 o'clock, and then it went to the Board of Supervisors and got adjusted.
Okay, so when it was here, I watched the video. when it was here, it was till 9 o'clock and their music till 7 is what you guys voted on. Exactly is what you guys voted on.
I didn't watch the videos.
Yeah, I get on YouTube and watch all the videos, but that was what he got approved for, and that's what I came to ask Maggie for. I said, Maggie, can we stay open until 8? I don't care. Shut the music down at 6. We have 2 restaurants. Now, I just bought one, so now I have money invested in it too. So everything's family owned on the property. So, I mean, we're not going to stay open past 6 o'clock doing music, but 8 o'clock to keep the kitchens open, to make that flow of money, because now we're going to start putting out money to do parking lots, driveways, build a block wall.
Yeah, it sounds like there's quite an investment to get up to,
of
staff's
course, yeah.
recommendation. Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Staff did recommend the 6 p.m., and I believe it was changed here at the Planning and Zoning Commission. It was modified here, and that recommendation was taken to the Board of Supervisors where it was approved.
Correct.
Perfect.
That's my
Good
recommendation.
clarification. Thank you for that. We appreciate that. That makes something of a difference, I think.
Can I make my motion now?
Please, sir. I was hoping you would
Applicant's
do that.
original want to comply and get everything done, and all the public, I make a motion to approve a staff's recommendation with the addition page that was added today, and keeping the establishment open for food and dining till 9 p.m. and music till 6:30.
Second that.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Rosales, and we have a second to accept staff's recommendations of approval and modify the times for music till 6:30.
No.
Oh,
Yeah, 6:30 music till 6:30 and dining till 9.
Until 9.
from 9 until 9, and discussion. Now, I understand that's what we recommended to the Board of Supervisors?
Well, that's my motion. Whether we recommended it or not, that's
Yeah,
different.
but for how I vote may depend.
Oh, well, that would be your personal choice there.
We want to maintain
But
consistency.
he's agreeing
I
to
know how
all
you
the other
voted in that
terms.
meeting, the last meeting.
Yeah, that's why I just want it to be the same.
I think we did, I'm sorry, Mr. Munguia, what do we do? 9 o'clock, and then what was the music time?
For
6:30.
the previous
Yes.
SCP, I believe it may have been 7 p.m.
I was thinking too.
Mr. Chairman,
He's asking
He's
for
already
6:30.
agreed to
Yeah,
6
he's
o'clock.
at 6:30.
My motion is my motion.
I understand.
I agree, I second that.
So we have that motion, we have that second. Is there any further discussion by any commissioner? The vote is being called for. Let's have the ayes and the nays. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion is approved.
Thank you.
Could have been done an hour ago.
We could have done an hour ago.
Why not?
Almost like you don't want to take the vote on it, dude.
Could have been done last week.
Going to apply for a job.
You're right.
Your letter and email.
Fat Daddies and check out their food.
We are in session, but we're going to take a couple of minutes. Could people take their conversations
Are you the one
outside,
that's in
please?
charge of the email that I want to email your mom?
Hey, please take your conversations outside, please.
That was me.
Hugs and thank yous outside, please.
Give my megaphone up here.
I think so. We have it as, even my phone, even my watch got mad at me. Goes, what? That's what it said.
All the required and all this
Oh,
right here.
still hugging. Come on now.
They can't hear, remember?
I did send them.
Celebrations outside.
Oh, they have it. They know it. Maybe I just forgot to put it on. But I thought it was going to
I'll
be
meet
right here.
at
this
Fat
building.
Daddy's.
You want this back?
They're open till 9.
Music till 6:30.
I forgot we're still on the record here. All right. Item number 4.
All right.
Last week.
We did approve the minutes, right?
Yes, we did.
All right, let's reconvene our board meeting and get back to business. Item number 4 on tonight's agenda.
Yeah.
Item number 4, rezoning case number 25-13. The presenter is Richard.
Richard Munguia, Senior Planner. This request is to rezone a parcel approximately 10,000 square feet in size from local commercial to manufactured home subdivision. And it's located at 804 South Eleanor Avenue, and the intent is to rezone it in order to install a manufactured home.
Close the doors, please.
Yeah, please. Get that out of there. Get your buddy out of here.
They're still walking out.
Buddy, too.
Subject property is shown here crosshatched. The property in blue is all C1, local commercial. Perp is zoned C2, purple, general commercial. Green is R18. Property that is yellow is R16. And a little to the south, there's like a brownish color, and that's R2, medium density. This image here shows the approximate location of the subject property. There was previously a residence on that property, but it was demolished roughly in 2014. And there are a lot of single-family residences in that area as well. There were no comments received from outside agencies, and there was one email in opposition, and it arrived after the finalization of the staff report, and it should be in your packets, I believe. Staff is recommending approval of this request based on the request being in compliance with the comprehensive plan, subject to the following performance conditions and schedule for development. And that concludes my report, and I'm available for questions.
Thank you. Do any commissioners have questions of staff concerning this rezoning case?
Yes, Mr. Munguia, everything else is a site-built home, correct?
I believe there's a few manufactured homes out there as well.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions of staff? Yes, Commissioner McDermott.
On the drawing, it indicates there's a business on
The business is to the north. It's on a different parcel. It is, if you notice on the screen, the crosshatched area, it's directly to the north, the parcel that's shaped like a flag.
64.
Correct.
Any other questions of staff? If not, we'll open the public hearing portion of the meeting, and it's the applicant. Would the applicant like to speak?
Hi, my name is Teresa Bailey. It used to be Cardenas. I'm the owner of the property. And my brother, Jerry Witt, is going to be my representative for the rezoning. He's going to be moving the home onto the house, onto that property. The house was demolished because people had caught it on fire. And rather than have anybody hurt, we pulled all of everything but the slab down because we didn't want anybody to get
We need your address for the record, please.
Oh, sorry. My address is 607 West Saddle Lane in Payson, Arizona, 85541.
Thank you. Is there anything that you would like to share with us? Or
I'd like to put a house back on it because otherwise it's just staying empty. And I have my brother that would like to use the property.
Okay, well, we'll open the public hearing and see if there's any public wants to comment. And if we have any questions, we can call you back up.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Anyone in the audience tonight like to speak concerning this rezoning case number 25-13? Either for or against? Seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing portion of the meeting and come back to the commissioners for discussion and action.
Chairman, I move that we accept or approve rezoning case number 25-13 as presented by staff.
We have a motion by Commissioner Van Wy with a second by Commissioner McDermott to recommend approval of rezoning case 25-13 as presented by staff. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No recommendation is approved. Item number 5 on tonight's agenda, minor amendment case number 25-04. Presenting tonight will be Richard.
Richard Munguia, Senior Planner. This request is a change of land use designation of a parcel approximately 2.7 acres in size from agricultural/rural preservation to ranchette residential. It's located at 12539 South Drysdale Avenue, and the intent is to rezone the property to suburban ranch 1 acre minimum in order to split it into 2 parcels. The property is identified here. It's highlighted by the crosshatch. It's part of the Drysdale Lane Colonia. The land use designation in all directions adjacent to the subject property is agricultural/rural preservation. The colonia is comprised of a mixture of zoning districts that are not within the range of identified uses, densities, and intensities of the ARP land use designation. Property is here outlined in blue, accesses off of Somerton Avenue onto County 12.5 Street, and is currently developed with a residence. MCES and Yuma County Water Users Association both provided comments. Staff is recommending approval. And the basis for this is that it would be logical and harmonious with the existing land use pattern due to the development of the residences in the area. And that concludes my staff report. I'm available for questions.
Thank you, sir. Do any commissioners have questions of staff? Commissioner McDermott.
I noted in the write-up.
I will defer that to the applicant.
Any other questions of staff? If not, the applicant present, would they like to speak?
This is Ashley Quintero, representing Maria Luisa Mesa.
Address?
Address 12539 South Plaisdell Avenue, Yuma, Arizona, 85365. We do have delinquent for this year. We got on top of it of the past taxes property, but it's only this year that we do have, I believe, till the end of this month to pay, and we will.
Any other questions of the applicant? If not, we'll open the public hearing portion of the meeting and ask if there's anyone in the public wants to speak concerning this minor amendment case number 25-04. Seeing no one wanted to speak, we'll close the public hearing portion, come back to the commission for discussion and action.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Van Wy.
I move that we recommend for approval of a minor amendment case number 25-05 as presented by, 25-04 as presented by staff.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Commissioner Van Wy with a second by Commissioner Bowers to recommend approval of minor amendment case 25-04 as presented by staff. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The recommendation of approval passed unanimously. Item number 6 on tonight's agenda, minor amendment case number 25-05, and presenting for the county tonight is
Javier Barraza. Mr. Chairman, can you also open item number 7, rezoning case number 25-14?
I will also open rezoning case number 25-14 at the same time.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, this is a request for a change of the land use designation of 3 parcels that total 20,647 square feet in size from medium density to regional commercial, located in the Foothills Planning Area, southwest corner of Shale Drive and Fortuna Road in Yuma, Arizona. And the intent is to rezone the subject properties from manufactured home subdivision, 4,500 square feet minimum, to general commercial. Subject properties in this land use map, 59-1661, crosshatch at the center of the map. Medium density residential is the existing land use. We have local commercial land uses on the north, east. We got regional commercial land uses on the south, and medium density residential land uses on the west. This is the aerial view showing the subject parcel outlined in red in the most upper part of the slide. This is a view looking west of the subject property from Fortuna Road. No comments received from property owners within the zoning notification area. We did receive one letter in opposition to the request from a Yuma County resident. The staff recommends approval of minor amendment case number 25-05 based on the following. The amendment is logical and harmonious with the land use pattern of the area. The amendment is consistent with the overall intent of the plan and its specific goals and policies. And number 3, the amendment is in character with existing land uses and support policies of the plan to provide consistent land uses. I will now present rezoning case number 25-14. And same, the request is to rezone the 3 parcels from MHS 4.5 to C2. and the intent is to develop the properties with retail spaces. Again, this is the zoning and vicinity map showing the subject parcels, crosshatched and highlighted in red at the center. Properties are currently undeveloped. Access is from Shale Drive. Parcel 61 will have an address from Fortuna Road at this time. We have property on the north. Parcel 82 zone regional commercial is the location of water vending machines. We have parcel number 1 further north is zone C2 as well in desert terrain. Parcels 10 and 12 to the northeast are zone medium density residential, currently vacant. Parcel 45 and 51 and parcel 47 C2, 45 and 51 are vacant, and parcel 47 is the location of a hotel. And then we have parcel 62, which is zone C2, improved with a commercial building. And then we have parcels 80 and 81 for the south, improved with different businesses. And on the southwest and northwest, properties are zone MHS 4.5. Properties are improved with a mixture of manufactured homes and site builds. This is 2 pictures. One on the top is looking north, Fortuna Road, and on the south, was Fortuna Road looking south. This is a view looking west at the Shale Drive, seeing the current residential developments down the street. Looking southwest, the subject parcels. No comments received from property owners within the zoning notification area. 1 letter in opposition to the request from a resident, a county resident was received. The staff recommends approval of rezoning case number 25-14, subject to the following condition. This performance condition is not in your staff report. We informed the applicant of this condition was going to be included today, and they agree with that condition. And is within 180 days of board supervisor's approval, the subject properties shall be combined pursuant to section Yuma County Subdivision Regulations, section 7.11, and a single point of access shall be established along Shale Drive. Mr. Chairman, the applicant did not provide a development plan or site plan. It's just, the plan is just a little bit open for options. And Mr. Chairman, that concludes staff's presentation.
Do any commissioners have questions of staff? Seeing none, we'll open the public hearing portion of the meeting and ask if there's anyone in the audience tonight who would like to speak concerning minor amendment case 25-05 or rezoning case 25-14. No one arises to speak. We'll close the public hearing portion of the meeting and come back to the commissioners for discussion and action.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Van Wy.
move that we accept, approve minor amendment case number 25-05 as presented by staff. And do you want to?
There is a
take second
motion,
vote?
there is a motion by Commissioner Van Wy and a second to recommend approval of the minor amendment case 25-05 as presented by staff. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Recommendation to approve was unanimous. Now, item number 7, Commissioner Van Wy.
Move that we recommend approval of rezoning case number 25-14 as presented by staff.
We have a motion by Commissioner Van Wy with a second by Commissioner Garcia to recommend approval of rezoning case 25-14 as presented by staff. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The recommendation to approve was unanimous. Going to item number 9, special use permit case number 25-11. Presenting for the county will be
Bill Barraza, Senior Planner. This is a special use permit request per section 604.03M of the Yuma County zoning ordinance to allow an accessory dwelling unit on a parcel that has a size of 14,580 square feet in size, zone R120, low density residential, 20,000 square feet minimum. Located in the northwest Yuma planning area, 1910 West 15th Place in Yuma, Arizona, and the intent is to allow an accessory dwelling unit for guests. This is the zoning and vicinity map showing the subject parcel, highlighted and crosshatched at the center of the map. Properties accessed via gateway and 15th Place. All properties surrounding the subject parcel are in residential use improved with site built dwelling. We have parcel 97-98 to the southwest. Parcel 98 is zone MHP, and parcel 98 is vacant, and parcel 97 is improved with a residence. This is an aerial view showing the subject parcel outlined in red, showing the current development status. And this is an aerial view, again, outlined in blue. This is a site plan provided by the applicant. Highlighted in orange is the proposed location of the accessory dwelling unit. This location complies with development standards, setbacks, and lot coverage. This is looking northwest of the subject parcel from 15th Place. Now looking north of the subject parcel again from 15th Place on the south. This is now looking southwest of the proposed ADU from the alley. One comment received from within the zoning area in favor of the request. The staff recommends approval of a special use permit case number 25-11, subject to the following performance condition. Within 60 days of approval by the board, the owner shall record a navigation disclosure statement. Also, the following operational conditions. The approval of the special use permit is based on the site plan submitted by the applicant. Any change from the site plan requires prior approval by the planning director. And number two, the principal dwelling and ADU shall not be rented out separately. Mr. Chairman, this concludes staff's presentation, and applicants are present.
Very good, thank you. Do commissioners have questions of staff concerning this special use permit case? Commissioner McDermott.
Proposed dwelling? The dimensions, that's a lot of plan there. Just a second. Let me go relay to, I got the architect here, so, but let me, he provided a site plan.
Footprints
I'll give you the
roughly
dimensions
24
in
by
a second.
24.
It is 24 by 24, yes. One story. Yes.
Any other questions of staff by commissioners?
Is that
Commissioner
building
Benoit.
already, I'm sorry, sir, already in place?
Mr. Chairman, no, it's not.
So
What
is-
we have there currently is a shed that will be removed.
Okay.
Any other questions of staff by commissioners? If not, we'll open the public hearing portion of the meeting and ask if there's anyone in the audience tonight that would like to speak concerning this special use permit case 25-11. No one wants to speak.
The applicant's here if he wants to speak.
The applicant would like to speak, he can come forward. Yes, sir.
Ronald Winburn, 1910 West 15th Place, in Hadama, 85364. It is my property. And I'm trying to prepare a place for my elderly sister and brother-in-law, so that's what it's for.
Thank you, sir. Anyone have questions of the applicant? We have, thank you so much, appreciate it. Anyone else in the audience like to speak? If not, we'll close the public hearing portion of the meeting, come back to commissioners for discussion and action.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Van Wy?
move that we recommend approval of special use permit case number 25-11 as presented by staff.
We have a motion by Commissioner Van Wy with a second by Commissioner Garcia to recommend approval of special use case 25-11 as presented by staff. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Recommendation to approve was unanimous. Item number 10, discussion concerning the possible text amendment to the Yuma County zoning ordinance addressing mobile food vendors. Presentation by staff member
Carrillo.
Yes.
Arello?
Let's hear that. Roll that tongue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jesus Carrillo.
Carrillo.
Got it?
Carrillo.
Carrillo. This item is to discuss concerning a possible text amendment to the Yuma County zoning ordinance addressing mobile food vendors. And the purpose of this text amendment is to consider possibly revising the Yuma County zoning ordinance by amending sections 202 definitions, 611.03L and 611.03K, deleting section 1104.04 and adding new section 1108.20, mobile food vendors and mobile food units. This amendment is intended to address complaints related to the operation of mobile food vendors in residential zoning district, as well as concerns regarding noise-making devices and similar disturbance associated with these activities. The proposed changes are consistent with the Arizona Revised Statute 11269.24, which authorizes counties to regulate mobile food vendors. The proposed changes are in the following slides. Text and strike-through format is intended to be deleted, and text and bold font is proposed to be added. In section 202 in definitions, mobile food vendors, the intent is to delete the current definition that we have and add the definition that is in the statute. We're adding a mobile food unit. The state statute has defined mobile food unit as a food establishment that is licensed by this state that is really movable and dispense food or beverages for immediate service and consumption and other incidental retail items from any vehicle. That's a definition that is in state statute. We're also adding noise-making devices. We are defining noise-making devices as any instrument, apparatus, or equipment capable of producing or amplifying sound, included but not limited to power generators, drums, loudspeakers, radios, electronic sound system, bells, horns, whistles, or similar devices, whether operated manually, mechanically, or electronically. Does any other commission have any discussions in these items?
I'm a bit confused. Here we're allowing temporary food vendors to play music until 10.
Exactly.
But in a couple of cases ago, we got to shut them down at 6:30. Why the disparity?
Well, mobile food vendors, we don't regulate mobile food vendors as long as the device is attached on the mobile food unit. What we're regulating on the previous cases is the outdoor activity.
Strictly mobile.
Yes, the land
That's
being used for
mobile.
Yeah, it's not a
outdoor.
food court.
It's not a food court.
It's not a food court.
Mobile car, truck or.
Right. So if you have a food trailer or whatever, you could blast the music till 10 because you're mobile.
Unless the commission wants to make a different time.
Remember,
This is the time to-
this limits, 96 hours is the limit of time. So this is for an event, not for an ongoing business. So that, I mean, that's the difference. Maybe
And
somebody's
Mr. Chairman,
having a-
and this is the purpose of this discussion. If you would like to add a different
Understand.
time, today's the date.
We can recommend changes.
Okay.
I'm a little concerned that he's defined my guitar as a noise-making device. My wife has been telling me that all these years. It's a noise-making device.
You end at 6:30.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is just a recommendation by staff, and it's going to go through. How did you guys come up with this all on your own, or have you brought any stakeholders in yet?
We did get in contact with other counties. So far, other counties doesn't have something similar to it, but we're just following what this current statute has on the.
So you're pretty much staying with state statute at this point.
Correct. And we can move forward with the discussion with the PowerPoint presentation. And
okay.
Currently, in our ordinance, we have section 1103 and section 1203 under special uses. Back then, a special use permit was required if the mobile food vendor was there for more than 2 hours. Now, state statute says you can be there as long as you don't do more than 96 consecutive hours. So that's the reason why we're removing those items from the current ordinance. And we also deleting section 1104.04, which talks about mobile food vending setbacks. Mobile food vendors such as hot dog stands shall not be located within the established setback lines. And that's the purpose because we added a new section. So we're removing this one and we're relocating to a new section, which will follow state statute.
Is this predominantly food trucks Is this what we're talking about?
Yes, mobile food trucks.
Something that moves. Yeah,
Temporary.
temporary.
Moving forward with a new section that we adding, section 1108.20, mobile food vendors and mobile food units. As it's showing here, those are the new proposals that we have. As you mentioned, letter E, the operation of noise-making device shall be prohibited between the hours of 10 p.m. and 8 a.m. So if you would like to make a change to that, we're open to hear any recommendations. Now, keep in mind, this is just for noise-making devices, not for the mobile food vendor. So the mobile food vendor can be operating on the property as long as they don't do more than 96 consecutive hours. As long as they don't, the noise-making just, in case they have a speaker attached to it.
All right, so.
Like an ice cream machine, yes.
So we got to keep that separated. The truck could be there, but the noise maker can't be there.
Yeah.
Yes, gotcha.
Except when
Right.
closed off block or.
Or in this case, like other cases, a special use permit to allow other activity.
Gotcha.
For like other entertainment.
So is that the,
That concludes staff presentation, and staff is recommended to move forward in this discussion item to the board supervisor for further discussion and input. Does any of the commission have any recommendations?
I'll just clarify one more time. I mean, what you're trying to do is make all of this equitable with state law, so that you're following state statutes the best you can.
Correct, and under your, under the packet you have.
Right.
We actually uploaded the state statute, and it says what we can do and cannot do. And this is what we can do. We can restrict or prohibit mobile food vendors from operating in residential properties. And that's what we're recommending on letter A.
So you, again, now this is the vendor, this is the truck itself. You don't want mobile food vendors and mobile food units are prohibited from operating in areas zoned residential. So anyone in a residential zoning could not have a taco truck come and supply an event.
That's our recommendation unless the commission would like to recommend something different.
I mean,
Having a birthday party, you got a
Right.
gonna be allowed or not, or do they need to?
That's a private event.
Okay.
But they can't go across the
Not
street and
commercial
sell to the
sales.
public sales.
Right.
So that's a private event.
oh, see, I had it wrong.
See that?
Yeah.
I personally agree with everything except for number E, because I think we're kind of contradicting ourselves with that one. I think it should be 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Because we've let the other establishments have music until, till 7. It's not fair to allow them to have it till 10. Just my opinion.
I agree.
Well,
So I would recommend that we move this forward with my recommendation of changing the hours from 7 p.m. to 8 a.m. on E.
7 p.m.
Food was 9.
Okay, any other commissioners have discussion? We will move now and open up a public hearing and ask if there's anyone in the audience who would like to speak concerning this potential text amendment. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, Aaron Selly, 728-07001. This just seems to me like a lot of overreach. It's a simple thing, and especially when you consider noise-making devices, I would understand that there's a distinct difference between live music and some of the things listed as noise-making devices. I mean, I can run a generator at my private residence any time of the day or night when I don't have power. So why restrict somebody that's just trying to make some money on the side, that's doing something as best they can? But completely striking it out of C1 and C2 is not in the best interest of the community. It specifically lists under C1, the purpose of that is to handle the day-to-day needs of the community there and to keep the community close at home. So forcing them to move from the community to a farther commercial location to be able to get simple things like mobile food vendors is not what the community needs at this point, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for your contribution?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
just a point of clarification. Currently, the zoning ordinance requires a special use permit for mobile food vendors in the C1 and C2 zoning districts. Staff isn't, if staff removes letters L and K from section 611.03 and 612.03 respectively, then that just means that property owners will no longer be required to obtain a special use permit to have a mobile food vendor if the property is zoned C1 or C2.
So that would
It
be,
will- it
that'd
will
be
be
allowed
only-
by right, yeah.
Yes, the use will be allowed by right. However, if somebody establishes intends on establishing a mobile food vendor on the property, and they intend on having outdoor seating and outdoor entertainment and other outdoor activities on the property zone C1, they will still have to obtain a special use permit for those outdoor activities.
It no longer becomes mobile. No longer considered mobile then, really.
Correct. It's the activity that is regulated, not the mobile food vendor itself or mobile food unit.
Other comments? So how do we, I mean, we could forward this to the Board of Supervisors, get their comments, and it's going to, could come back to us like we've done this several times with different things, but how do we get local players, I mean, local food truck owners, how do we get them notified that we're making these changes so that they can give us their input?
Sorry, what was the question, Mr. Chairman?
How could we get the stakeholders, the local food truck owners, the people who are doing this, how can we get them involved so we can get any comments before we get too far down the road?
Mr. Chairman, if the commission moves these changes forward, they will go to the Board of Supervisors for their input as a discussion item. And then they will be brought back to the Planning and Zoning Commission to initiate the amendment.
Right.
At that time, staff will publish a notice in the newspaper to notify the general public about the proposed changes to the zoning ordinance. We'll also post something on the county's Facebook page about the proposed changes to the zoning ordinance.
Okay, and then we will have another public hearing, and then we could, if we want to make additional things, we forward it back to the Board of Supervisors and get the comments. It could be the football like we've done with our container.
Correct.
Yeah, but again, it's better to try to get it all worked out. But I do think if we could find a way to get the mobile food truck owners, yes,
Mr.
Commissioner
Chairman, if I may,
Mosqueda.
is it possible when we get down to that point when it gets kicked back to send a mailer directly to all currently permitted mobile vendors? So we're going direct to the source?
Do we permit? Health Department does, no?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, we may be able to use the records from the Health Department because mobile food vendors are required to obtain a permit from the Health Department to operate.
But if we could do that, I agree with that concept. Yes, Commissioner Rosales.
I'm confused now.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. I see the point. Totally separate.
When's it gonna establish residency?
Mr. Chairman, that's not on the agenda today. Mr. Chairman, based on the,
At the fairgrounds.
Mr. Chairman, based on the language that was approved by state law, technically, mobile food vendors are allowed in any zoning district. Now, the board can prohibit them on property zone residential only. However, the restrictions come into play for the other activities that could happen, could take place with the operation of a mobile food vendor.
Well, I think what she's saying, that the food truck, your taco truck could come to your birthday party as long as they don't do any of these.
No, I get that in a residential,
And
That's C1, C2.
not anymore.
Okay, that's what I'm reading. That's what I'm
That-
saying.
No, that's being changed.
They're trying to change
Okay,
that.
that's
Mr. Chairman, if
Being
it's,
removed.
Being removed.
Mr. Chairman, if it's a true mobile food vendor that goes and parks at Walmart, for example, and
Right.
Okay. The following
There you
are
go.
Back to that confused part.
Okay.
You qualified it before you started.
So, let's
you
move
want me
on
to
with the
continue with
vote.
my statement?
Vote.
What's that, Maggie?
What I was
Go
trying
ahead.
to say is, if it's a true mobile food vendor that, for example, parks at Walmart and they open up their hot dog stand and people drive up, get the hot dog and leave, then those types of mobile food vendors are regulated under the zoning ordinance. If they park at a private property and they set up tables and chairs and shade structures, and now they have people coming in, going onto that property and eating, for example, on the property zone C1, they would still be required to obtain a special use permit because C1 does not allow outdoor activities. C2 does.
What's a Walmart?
It depends on where it's at.
What a zone.
Generally, they're on property zone C2. Regardless of whether it's on private property or not, it's the activity that takes place in conjunction with a mobile food vendor.
Yes, amarillo.
No, if he has written consent.
So the question I think we have to forward this to the Board of Supervisors is, do we want to accept Commissioner Van Wy's recommendation and have a 7 p.m. for noise-making devices? Forward it up to the board to get their comments on it, and then have public hearing and mail the food trucks and see if we can get recommendations.
Food truck, I don't think they have an issue. Their goal is to fill tacos or whatever. It's the primary, like a big establishment that
I did make a motion, but I got
You wanna do it
bypassed.
again?
I move that we accept the.
Did you second it?
Yeah, he seconded it.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to forward this to the Board of Supervisors for their comment with the one change of changing the hours of operation of noise-making devices from 10 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Correct.
Everybody understand that motion and second? Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Did we do the public hearing part? We did and closed it.
Are we still on?
Thank you,
Tuesday?
Counselor.
Is this still Tuesday?
It's still Tuesday. I don't know.
I want to hear from Brandy.
Item number 11,
What is those possibly?
request a minor amendment to the 2030 comprehensive plan to keep Highway 95 as a visual corridor in its original extent east of Avenue 3E to the northern boundary of Yuma County, or designate Highway 95 as a visual corridor from the intersection of Highway 95 and County 3rd Street to the northern boundary of Yuma County. Presenting for the county today is
Javier Barraza, Senior Planner. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And again, as you mentioned, this is a request to initiate a minor amendment to the 2030 Comprehensive Plan. As you mentioned, to keep Highway 95 as a visual corridor in its original extent east of Avenue 3E, east and north to La Paz County, or designate Highway 95 as a visual corridor from the intersection of Highway 95 and County 3rd Street, also known as Don Valley Road. Would you like me to go with the chronology or just go directly?
that could take a while. We've been
Yes.
having this
All
one
right,
back and
I'm
forth.
gonna follow Commissioner Rosales. Yeah, all properties along visual corridors are subject to development standard delineated in section 621.00 of the Yuma County zoning ordinance. One of the key will be under section 621.02 permitted uses. It says all uses allowed within the underlining base zoning district are allowed, except that no industrial uses shall be permitted and no off-site billboard signs shall be allowed. This is the list of road segments classified as visual corridors from the 2030 Comprehensive Plan. US Highway 95 is on top. For this new attempt, staff mailed comments requests to 491 property owners within the 500 feet of existing and proposed US Highway 95 visual corridor, and contact local sign companies in the past. Below is the responses we received. We also received comments from Arizona State Land Department, Arizona Department of Transportation, City of San Luis. We also received a new proposal that instead of doing it from the current and the proposed intersection of Highway 95 and Don Valley Road, there was another proposal that starting the new designated visual corridor intersection of Highway 95 and Walton Mohawk Canal, which is probably 12 miles from the original and 4 miles south of the proposed. This is a geographical context map showing proposal number 1 is the current existing starting point. Number 2 is the preferred board of supervisors starting point for the visual corridors, and number 3 is the new proposed that we received. This is the map with the existing visual corridor, Highway 95 outlined in red. It's very clear there. This is how the map is going to look if we bring it back. And this is the proposed, the other designated, the other option. Staff recommends to initiate a minor amendment to keep Highway 95 as a visual corridor in its original extent east of Avenue 3E, or designate Highway 95 as a visual corridor from the intersection of Highway 95 and County 3rd Street, also known as Don Valley Road. So the option is to recommend both. The last one is the board preferred.
The last one meaning
Avenue
3rd.
from
Don Valley Road?
County 3rd, Don Valley Road.
That's more road, isn't it, the last one?
Yes.
Yes, and that misses the industrial uses that are already there between 3E and
Whatever
County
existing
3rd.
uses will be, I mean, if existing to this will remain.
I did have one, can I have a comment or a question of staff? I did have one concern about billboards perhaps being built in agricultural land and agricultural fields and pigeons and stuff that it attracts. But if I understand properly, a billboard that can't be built in the right of way, it would have to go on private land. So if a farmer were to want to be in an ag field, he's going to have to lease the property to the billboard company, so that the pigeons become his concern. And then secondly, there's no reason, I mean, billboards have to be within 1,000 feet of a business. So that would limit as well. And I'm not even sure you can get a permit for a billboard in properties on agriculture. Is that possible?
Mr. Chairman, yeah, off-site signs are allowed in RA zoning.
In ag?
In ag, rural area zone properties. Okay. And if it's in ag, sometimes the properties are zone industrial, commercial, but they're in ag. But we're talking about the rural area zone properties, yeah, off-site signs are allowed.
They could do that, but it, again, would require the farmer that would be concerned to lease property to the billboard company.
That is correct.
Yes. All right, any other commissioners have questions of staff? If not.
I do have one.
Yes,
I'm sorry,
Commissioner
sir. Which, and this might not be the right venue for this, but the or seems to me like that would benefit the advertising company more than the first one, correct?
It would.
Yeah, the second option, yes, because they will open up. Right now, currently, this is where is the current. It starts from Avenue 3E, and by going with the proposal referred from the board, yeah, that will leave more room. About 14 miles to allow it.
Any other commissioners have questions?
I know the problems that the farmers face.
It was a clerical error.
Birds sitting there and the food safety issues and all that. And so if there's any way we can,
But do you agree?
prevent
You agree that a farmer would have a right to set aside a corner and lease it to a billboard if he wanted to, if he wanted to take it out of production and get the rent for the billboard, that should be his option?
Well, it's kind of inconceivable to me, basically, because
Then the farmer wouldn't have anything to worry about if it's inconceivable.
They can't just go and put one. They have to get the approval and everything from the farmer. See what I'm
well,
saying?
correct, but it would seem if he started the visual area
Mr.
at
Chairman?
the Welton Canal, which is almost to the end of the agricultural production area to the north, that wouldn't hurt anybody.
Maggie's going to share some wisdom with us.
Before you get too deep into this discussion, the original intent of this proposed amendment to the comprehensive plan was to rectify an error when the 2030 comprehensive plan was adopted. When the 2010 comprehensive plan was adopted, the visual corridor district was from Avenue 3E up to the north boundary of Yuma County. The same goes for the adoption of the 2020 comprehensive plan. When the 2030 comprehensive plan, there was an error on the map that did not show Highway 95 as a visual corridor, although it was listed as a visual corridor. So staff is simply trying to fix an omission that occurred during the adoption of the 2030 comprehensive plan. And the intent was to designate Highway 95 from Avenue 3E to the north boundary of Yuma County as a visual corridor.
And then Gary Black messed it all up.
No comment.
So we'll blame it on Gary Black. Yes, Commissioner Wright.
Why are we doing all of this if the intent is to do it from 3E up? Why are we doing all of this now?
Again, Mr. Chairman, because the current zoning map does not, the current map in the comprehensive plan does not depict the visual corridor from 3E to the north boundary of Yuma County.
And we have.
Why can't we just do it and start it from 3E where it should
That's
be?
the
one of the
intent of this minor
recommendations.
amendment.
One of the recommendations is to do that, but if you remember, when it came to us, we said, dang, we don't want any of it in, so we just want to consider leaving it out. But then Gary Black says, well, wait, we should have it all the way through. So we did all of 95, and then when it came, we've had him bring it back to us four or five times. And now it's been to the board, and the board says that they prefer County Third. The only objections we've had is that farmers want to make sure that they can't lose their land through eminent domain. I don't know how farmers think they could get billboards in their field, but, so I think staff's satisfied that. But we need to get some public input at the public hearing tonight and see if we can send one of these up to the board for final approval. Any other commissioners? Commissioner Rice, are you finished? More questions?
I think we ought to go start it at 3E, just like it should be, rather than going out to County 3, the Dome Valley turnoff.
You miss a lot of.
Any other questions? If not, let's open up the public hearing and get public comment, and then we can come back and take action. We'll open the public hearing portion of the meeting now and ask if there's anyone in the audience who would like to speak concerning this case. Will come up, name and address for the record, please.
Chairman Bryant, I'm Kerry Meister, and I'm representing the Yuma Audubon Society, P.O. Box 6395, Yuma, Arizona 85366. I think a couple phrases come to me: mountain out of a molehill and tempest in a teapot, and I think Commissioner Rice has it right. The confusion that resulted from this, which is purely a technical error, which it seems could easily be corrected by drawing a line on a map with the appropriate approval, seems to have resulted when someone talked about a visual corridor all the way from Avenue 3E to the border with Mexico. I don't think anybody wants that as a visual corridor. I don't. Yuma Audubon doesn't. But we would like to have Avenue 3E to the northern boundary of Yuma County as a visual corridor, as was written into 3 county plans. And again, as Commissioner Rice said, why can't we just go with that? I would like to give a little personal recollection about why I think it's important to include the agricultural area from 3E to where it ends. And one time I was facing a difficult decision. I had to tell my supervisor that I could not, in good faith, do what he wanted me to do. And it was one of those things where you lose sleep, literally. I'm sure, if not all of you, most of you have been in this position at some time in your life. And my wife said, let's take a drive. And we took a drive, and she drove, and we drove through the fields from Avenue 3E along all the way until they ended. And the green and the mountains in the background, the green of the crops, really helped me calm down and frame what I needed to do. So scenic vistas are not just majestic mountains. They're also agricultural fields, which are so much a part of our life here in Yuma County. And if it did this for me, it can do it for others. Besides, the area coming down from the north on US 95 is really a gateway to Yuma for so many winter visitors. And I think it would be a mistake to start putting billboards in this area, along with, as Commissioner McDermott mentioned, the problems that billboards can cause for farmers. So I hope that I hope that Commissioner Rice will make a motion, but I hope that you will recommend that we end this agony that has gone on for so long, that has become a bureaucratic mess, and just say somebody made a mistake, they didn't draw a line on the map, let's draw it on the map now and hope that the Board of Supervisors agrees. Thank you.
I need some clarification, if you don't mind. So you're for no billboards from 3E out?
Yeah, to the northern boundary of Yuma County.
But you're for billboards from the border to 3E?
Well, I'm for whatever is there and whatever is legal.
So why is the green that's between the border and town different from the green that's from 3E out?
Well,
I'm confused.
If you look at 3E on
They're all lettuce fields.
Yeah, but if you look at 3E on down to San Luis, sure, there are some areas where you're in fields, but you're going through Somerton, you're getting to San Luis, Gadsden is also there, and it's just not the same
Aren't
to
there
me.
fields in that same stretch too?
There are fields, yeah.
A lot of fields, right?
Right, but I think it, just to be realistic, that it would be much more difficult to designate that an area that would be preserved for scenery, because there are already billboards in that area.
In all fairness, isn't there already billboards from 3E on Highway 95?
Yes, there are. I took a drive, and there are 7 or 8 billboards. And the question becomes, why are they there if this is a scenic corridor? Were they built legally?
Mr. Chairman, they were there prior to the adoption of the 2010 comprehensive plan.
We've got it. Yes, thank you. But we do appreciate your comments, and thank you for sharing with us.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Anyone else in the audience like to speak concerning this? Yes, come up. Name and address for the record, please.
Brandy Wright, 1702 South Arizona Avenue. Excuse my voice, but I'm here to advocate for outdoor advertising billboards and ask you guys to amend and consider from Highway 95 and County 3rd Street North. Now, yes, I agree, billboards and ag, but it's already so hard to put a billboard up anywhere. There's ADOT ordinance, there's county ordinance, and then, yeah, we have to get approval from landowners. So if there was a loophole for us, Lamar Sun Outdoor, to build from 3E on, it'd be there already. Like, it's hard to build new construction. So what we have up there is grandfathered in. And if we change it or keep the existing corridor the way it is, it's grandfathered, meaning all my billboards along Highway 95 from 3E out are there until they're not there anymore. And then what does that do for our local business? It's gone. We start depleting, we go away. So I ask you to consider from Highway 95, County 3rd out. Questions?
Thank you. Appreciate your comments. Anyone else tonight who would like to speak? Yes, sir.
Blake DeWitt, 3677 Livingston State Courts, and I work with Brandy. The only thing I wanted to point out is the billboards we have from 3E out, if they need to be refurbished in the future, I have some concerns with the visual corridor that we could not refurbish those billboards. So I don't know how that would impact that area being part of the visual corridor. So I don't know if that could be a consideration if it's established from 3E out. I mean, I'd like to see it from County 3rd Street as well.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Anyone else in the audience like to speak concerning this? Minor amendment to the comprehensive plan?
Nope.
If not, let's close the public hearing portion of the meeting, come back to the petition for discussion and possible action.
Chairman?
Will you take a motion?
Commissioner, which
Yes,
one?
I'll take it.
Van one?
Say that we initiate a minor amendment to the 2030 comprehensive plan to designate Highway 95 a visual corridor from the intersection of Highway 95 and County 3rd Street to the north boundary of Yuma County.
Second.
Who was the second? Yes. We have a motion by Commissioner Van Wy with a second by Commissioner Rosales to recommend a commission initiative or minor amendment to initiate a minor amendment to the 2030 comprehensive plan starting from County 3rd to the northern boundary of
Highway 95.
On Highway 95, the northern boundary of Yuma County. Option number 2 from the county, the one that was preferred by the supervisors. Is there any discussion?
I think it's wrong.
I agree.
Any further discussion? Let's do a roll call vote because it's going to be perhaps a close one. Roll call vote, please.
Aye.
Nay.
Yes.
Nay.
Aye.
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 Nay.
Aye.
So the final vote was 6-3, is that? 6-3. All right. We got it done finally. Item number 12 on tonight's agenda. Discussion concerning a possible text amendment to the Utica County zoning ordinance changes to section 1106-01 for cargo containers. Presenting tonight is
Bill Barraza, Senior Planner. Again, Mr. Chairman, the chronology on May 27, 2025, the Planning Commission received additional comments and concerns from the public and also the commissioners. These proposed changes are based on findings and demonstrate strong support from both the community and industry stakeholders for updating the ordinance to better align with current needs and practices on regards of cargo containers. Again, this is the original intent, the 5 bullet points there. This is the proposed changes are shown below. The text that is strike-through format is intended to be deleted, and text in bold font is proposed new text to be added. Mr. Chairman, I have a cleaner version of these. Would you like to see the cleaner
Yes.
version?
Sure.
And this will be the clean version of it. You want me to read every?
No, no.
If you have any questions on,
No, if you summarize what we're doing is to allow, again, a number of cargo containers on properties. As I read the minutes from last meeting, it seemed like when we left, we had asked staff to consider changing to square footage for
I thought
containers
that we
as
did.
opposed to numbers.
yeah,
Why did that not get incorporated?
we did the 400 square feet, but by multiplying the number of units, it will increase. So it was like 800 square feet to 1,600 square feet for 4. That's how we handle it. Still leave that area square footage for cargo containers, but still listening to what the area proposals were, which were 800, 1,600.
Right, but I mean, in all fairness, we had talked about that, having one container on a residential lot, if it's 400 square feet, would it make a lot of difference if we had two 200 square foot containers? And we had decided to go to the square footage measurement as opposed to the numerical
For the
measurement.
same reason that you're saying not to do it.
And I was just wondering why, I mean, if you read the minutes, it's pretty clear.
Okay.
I just wonder why that never got incorporated.
That was probably an oversight on my part.
Because if you say two, limit to two, that could be two 40-foot containers. Or it could be two 10-foot, or it could be two 20. That's why it's mandatory to have the square footage, because other than that, you're gonna have two 40-foot containers on one piece of property. It's gonna take up, you see what I'm saying?
Yes, correct. But in the case, that's a maximum area, a max of 400 square feet. And you have to think also that every zoning district will have a lot coverage to cover. So you won't be able to go beyond certain areas if your area lot coverage doesn't allow it. You will need to, go ahead.
But if we go into the other areas where you might be able to get two 10 by 10 containers instead of one 400 square foot, those that only have one, the two becomes very important.
Okay.
And then the ones on larger acres where you might want to have feed containers around a 5-acre parcel, and you might want to have 10 by 10 containers to get the same amount of square footage that you would get and other things. I just thought there was an awful lot of discussion that said, let's go to square footage as opposed to numbers. And then when it came back, it hasn't been changed.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess what I would ask the commission, I think the square footage numbers are important. Does the rest of the commission feel strongly about the?
We spent a lot of time on that last meeting for the same reason. Yeah.
Square footage is the only way to go, I think.
Yeah,
So could we ask staff to take this back and incorporate the minutes from last meeting and come back with square footage for partials instead of numbers of containers?
I don't have them here. They should be like in the packet. Yes, Mr. Chairman, we'll do so, and then we're going to come back with that updated. So no numbers, but square footage.
Yes, yeah, if you read the last pages of the minutes, it's pretty clear what we asked.
We going, you see something?
Of course, I'm capable of reading what I want to read. Making it say what I wanted to say, but.
So, Mr. Chairman, just to clarify,
This
the
is,
commission,
let me just read this minute
Yeah.
and see if the Chairman Bryant clarified the allowable cargo container sizes. Parcels from 1 acre to 2 acres can have up to 800 square feet. Over 2 acres can have 1,600 square feet, and anything less than an acre can have 400 square feet. So that's in the minutes on page 17, first, second, third, fourth paragraph. And that was, Maggie says that it'd be brought back to the Planning and Zoning Commission. So, I mean, that was the last comment about containers, was clarifying square footage. So is everybody okay with asking this to go back and come to us with square footage?
Yes, Commissioner.
Do we need a motion for that?
Or approve with those corrections.
Mr. Chairman, we'll bring this item back to you next
The
month
next-
with square footage instead of number of containers.
Perfect. Thank you. Everybody's good with that? Perfect. Item number 13 on tonight's agenda. Discussion by commission members.
Mr. Chairman, can you
Yes.
just continue this item to next month?
Yes, a motion to continue this item is
So
made
move.
by Commissioner Rosales with a second by Commissioner Van Wy. We'll continue this item number 12 to the meeting for next month.
And Mr. Chairman, there's also other zoning districts that have, that are limited to the number of cargo containers. For example, the C1, C2, the C1 and C2 zoning districts. Do you want that limited by square footage as well, as far as the number,
I
instead
think
of
we should
number?
be consistent. Everyone agrees we should be consistent, yes.
Of the rural area and the industrial, there's no limit to the number. We don't touch those. Okay.
Yeah, we discussed that too.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second to continue this item to next month's regularly scheduled meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Discussion by commission members and planning director of events attended, current events, and schedule for future meetings. Anyone have anything to offer?
Regardless.
No one standing up? Call to the public. Anyone here tonight that wants to stay a little bit longer?
That's a nice way to put it.
If there's no one here tonight that wants to stay a little bit longer, thank everybody for attending and thank the commissioners for your patience. This meeting's adjourned.
Good job. Before Danny, I was gonna tell you